politicians. They're controlling our lives. You can't say what you want to say. You can't believe what you want to believe. You will only believe what I tell you to believe, and you will only do what I tell you to do. This is the new world order. If the people don't stand up and fight, we are going to live hell on earth.
Please join us for our next live stream, Sunday, August 15th at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll go over current events, past guests, and of course, gold and silver news. Once again, our next live stream will be Sunday, August 15th, 9 p.m. Eastern. See you then. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Silver Bullion Television, SBTV. I'm your host, Patrick Vieira. A little bit of housekeeping aside, if you are new to this channel or if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified on the updates and give us a thumbs up. If you like what we do, we truly do appreciate your support. Gerald Celente, the pioneer trend strategist, is back. The developer of the globalnomic methodology to identify, track, forecast, and manage trends is a political atheist unencumbered by political dogma, rigid ideology, or conventional wisdom. Gerald's motto is think for yourself and observes and analyzes current events, forming future trends for what they are and not for how he wants them to be. Let's all saddle up and silver up for Gerald Celente. Gerald, welcome back to SBTV. How are you doing?
How am I doing? Physically, I'm doing fine. My heart is broken when I see what's going on and how they've robbed us of our freedom. And it's dead out here, dead. 9 o'clock at night, dead. No life going on. Everybody's freaked out. Still, it's even worse. The Delta variant's going to get you. The Delta variant's going to get you. No, it's a freak show. And you have to get vaccinated or you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, I hear you. I was looking through all of your 158 pages in this week's Trends Journal. A lot of good stuff in there. Appreciate the work you put in there. And, jobless claims, they're still on the rise, yet the stock market continues to do sort of like a Sergeant Schultz from that old Hogan's Heroes TV show. I see nothing, and sort of oblivious to everything that's going on, all the negative news. And the Fed continues up and away, or the stock market up and away, and the Fed's beautiful balloon. Has the market truly disconnected from reality?
Of course it is. I mean, it's all the cheap money they're pumping into the equity markets and into the economies. It's unprecedented. You got negative interest rates in Japan, negative interest rates in Europe, near zero interest rates in the United States, buying up $120 billion worth of bonds every month, and corporate bonds, junk bonds. This isn't capitalism. You're buying up junk bonds? Where the hell are you buying up junk bonds? You're not supposed to be buying bonds. And what they're doing is all this cheap money is making the rich richer because they're getting for nothing. And all the merger and acquisition activities, the BlackRocks, the Blackstones, all the mergers and acquisitions going on and on. The M&A activities at near an all-time high, at an all-time high. Because they're getting the money for nothing. So the bigs are getting bigger. They're buying up everybody else. And all we become are plantation workers on the global plantation of Slavelandia. You don't have a chance to start your own business anymore. You have a very rare chance. And you do something. They did away with all the antitrust laws that prohibited this from happening. Robinson-Patman Act, Sherman Antitrust Act, Clayton Antitrust Act, and of course the Glass-Steagall Act for the bankster system. So it's criminal what's going on. It's criminal.
You mentioned the name BlackRock, and I want to touch on this as it came out in your Trends Journal. Housing prices have gone up. Rentals without questions have gone up. And, Gerald, we are seeing big names, investment firms like BlackRock, insurance companies even all buying up a portion of the housing market as rentals. And the Fed, the Fed helped these guys by pumping up the markets, keeping them afloat, even allowed them better interest rates than you and I could get. And they turn around and buy up our livable spaces. Is this where we are headed, where we are going to be renting a corporate home?
Yes, and that's what's going on. I tell you, they're in total control. All we are plantation workers in the global plantation of Slavelandia. Everybody get this straight. There are four groups that are running the world. Number one And you don't have to believe me. You could ask a guy by the name of Dwight D. Eisenhower, 5-star general, supreme commander of the Allied forces during World War II, 2-term president, January 17th, 1961. His farewell address, warning the American people that the military-industrial complex was robbing the nation of the genius of the scientists, the sweat of the laborers, and the future of the children. How many more wars do these murderous bastards, and to be equal, because you have to be equal these days, and bitches have to start before people get it in their head? You like the Iraq War? No, maybe the Afghan. Well, I like the Vietnam War. What about the Korean War? And it's not only the United States. How about what's going on over there in Ethiopia, Somalia, one place after another? Anyway, number one, the military-industrial complex. Number two, the banksters. Look who's the Treasury Secretary in the United States. Janet Yellen. Oh, if only a woman was in charge. I'm tired of hearing this crap. I could care less if it's a woman, whatever, black, green, yellow, gay, straight. I could care less. How about the best person? But no, we got a woman there. Oh, Janet Yellen, the former head of the bankster group, the Federal Reserve. And it's no federal at all. The only federal is they can control the whole damn monetary system. She's the Treasury Secretary, right from the bankster top. Look who you got over there in Europe, Christine Lagarde. Where's she come from? Oh, the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. All right? The banksters. Oh, this story goes, there was this person by the name of Jesus Christ, and he drives the money changers out of the temple, makes a whip, drives them out of the temple, has the Last Supper, and 3 days later, the cat's on the cross, all right? For screwing with the banksters. You think they're any different today? Number three, the drug dealers. Morons and imbeciles call them Big Pharma. They're drug lords. I'm going to take an Operation Warp Speed gene therapy injection that has not been approved by the FDA, and I'm a conspiracy theorist for not taking it? And you got to get one or you can't go anywhere. Number four, Silicon Valley, the big tech, the high tech, not only Silicon Valley, all over. Tech in control. You can only say what we want you to say on our channels, and we control them all. We're the monopolies. Monopolies have taken over the world. The equity markets have not a damn thing to do with reality. How the hell could they have gone up in 2000 when much of the world was locked down? And what am I, 6 years old? It's a rigged game. Quantitative easing. How about go screw you?
Yeah, I hear you, Gerald. It's interesting that you touched on a big tech. Social media, they have such a huge influence on people. And let's be honest, they are turning into a gatekeeper for information. Have we truly crossed that point already where social media, they influence politicians, and politicians, they will get their bidding and their policies done through social media?
Well, the social media has their place. With or without social media, the politicians do what they want to do. But they're controlling our lives. Censorship. You can't say what you want to say. You can't believe what you want to believe. You will only believe what I tell you to believe, and you will only do what I tell you to do. This is the new world order. I'm a piece of crap governor, senator, president, prime minister, chancellor, big tech. I'll tell you what to do. I'm telling you, ask me how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling. I'm a visionary. I'll put my work against anybody in the world. Show me the books you've written, Trends 2000, Trend Tracking. Show me your magazine, only been publishing at what? Oh, since 1991. You just mentioned 58 pages weekly. Show me your track record, and then we can begin to talk. I see the future, and it's hell on earth. Hell on earth. Look at these scumbags, these these city groups and MasterCards and all, they borrow money for 0.35% and charge you 27% interest? What are you kidding me? What are you joking?
Gerald, do you think social media they have eclipsed? They've even gotten stronger than the office of the president of the U.S. or even in other countries?
Nah, not really, because when you're running the show and you're at the top, you could close them down anytime you want, like they did in China. Look what they're doing in China. Look what they're doing to the social media in China. How about Hong Kong? How about anywhere?
Has truth become a liability?
Yes. You will only do what I tell you to do. You will only believe what I tell you to believe. If you don't believe what I tell you to believe, you're a conspiracy theorist or you're stupid. Think for yourself is not allowed anymore.
Completely agree with you there. And recently we had the Fed keeping interest rates between 0 to 0.25%, and they're talking about people going back to work. What do you think the government is going to have to do to actually get people back to work, or should I say, force people back to work?
They could give a damn. They don't care. They're politicians. Take a guy like Biden. He's been sucking off the public tit his entire life. He never worked a job in his life. All right? They don't work their whole lives, so they don't care. They even give themselves raises in many countries, and many cities, and many states. They could care less. And what they're going to do is they're going to go digital on all the coins, on all the transactions. So they know every penny you spent, where you spent it, how you spent it, so they get their share of it. And that's what they're going to do. They don't care. They don't care. They only care about themselves.
Okay, so with that, let's say they don't care. You think we're headed towards some type of UBI, universal basic income?
Yeah, definitely. They're doing it already. And so it shuts the people up. Look at one of our Trends Journal covers back in 2020 when all this was going on. USSA, United Soviet States of America.
I just want to touch on this a bit more. So let's say we do go to universal basic income. What do you think this is going to look like, being that, could it be one of the final nails in the U.S. coffin, being that one of the strengths of America has always been ingenuity? With UBI, there's no incentive for ingenuity.
It's gone. America's gone. There's no fight in America. I'm heartbroken. Look at the protests they're having, and they had in France, in Australia, in the UK, about the lockdowns. You see any happening in America? Other than the ones I have, I had a 4th of July festival and a Memorial Day festival. I'm doing as much as I can. I'm fighting. But there's a saying, united we stand, divided we fall. And there's no united in the United States.
Yeah, completely agree there.
It's a divided States of America, USSA, United Soviet States of America. You have no idea. Everybody is divided here. And if you don't get it, people, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I tell you what, Gerald, I'm watching all the way over here from Singapore, and it is. I see it as well going on, and I agree it's heartbreaking. And when you look at these things like inflation and the Fed saying it's transitory,
they don't care. They don't care. They're going to do whatever they can to keep pumping money in, and they're making it up again. How long has transitory been going on? And inflation is going to go down at some point, because this thing is going to slow down terribly. Look what they did in Europe with all the vaccine passports and all. What's going to happen to tourism? You can't go to a restaurant in France or in Italy if you're not vaccinated. They just restricted more border controls in America. You can't come in from a lot of other countries. What does that do to tourism? Look what's going on in the commercial real estate sector. Do you know what the office occupancy rate in the United States is? 32%.
It's pretty low.
Yeah. You know what it is in New York City? 20%. All the businesses that depend on commuters, what happens to them? Gone. Tourism, oh, the neon lights, they shine on Broadway, no more. Tourism, Broadway, that's who goes there, that gone. 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 Filth all over the streets. Homeless. You go down, you got to watch yourself.
You touched on inflation, saying the Fed eventually inflation will die off. Do you think we're going to hit perhaps hyperinflation before we get there?
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell because if this thing slows down really bad and we go into the greatest depression, now prices won't go up. What's going to happen, however, is if the governments keep pumping in more cheap money, it devalues the currency. That's where your inflation comes. It's going to cost more to buy less. And you already have it. You have workers' wages in America have fallen behind inflation, some 2%. So it's costing more to buy less. And now you have shrinkflation where they're making the packages, you're getting less. Instead of 12 ounces, you're getting 8 ounces of whatever you're buying, but you're paying the same. So your hyperinflation could definitely happen. It's a wild card game right now. Anybody that thinks that they know it, they're full of baloney because everything's changing. I mean, again, you go back 2 months ago in the Trends Journal, COVID War 2.0. We said this before anybody. We said they're going to launch another round. They're going to start selling this Delta variant so the drug dealers can, and now you got to get 3 shots. And now it's going to be you got to get a shot every year. So they scared the hell out of people. I'm telling you, the streets here are dead. You couldn't get a parking space here. This was the hottest place around upstate New York. The hottest. 90 miles north of New York City, first capital of New York State. More pre-Revolutionary War stone buildings here than anywhere else on the Hudson River. Beautiful, beautiful. Catskill Mountain. Empty, dead.
Gerald, what do you think it's going to take for it to come back? Can it come back?
The people. Because what stupid damn moron could listen to a piece of shit politician to tell them what to do? How damn stupid can you be? How gutless are you? I've had it. And I fight. And I don't only fight with my mouth, I fight. And I'm an old guy. And I'm a fighter. No, there's no fighters out there anymore. How the hell could people be so damn stupid to listen to these low-life pieces of crap shoving crap down their mouths and taking it? Oh, I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican. Grow the hell up. How about being an individual? Oh, no. Oh, no. America, the land of the cowards. Cowards. And when I say I'm a fighter, I had my own school. I taught close combat for a lot of years. I'm a little kid grew up in the Bronx. Yeah, you learn how to fight right away. You didn't go home crying. And that's what we have, a little bunch of crybabies. You know what kind of shit they throw out? Let's have a no bullying zone in the schools so that nobody will bother you. A no bullying zone? Oh, Celente, calm down. Swallow the crap they shove down your mouth. Be like a Barack Obama, how everybody loves how proper he is and what he does as the son of a bitch destroys Libya. I want that guy Gaddafi out of there. As he destroys Syria, I want that guy Assad out of there. Oh, calm down, Celente. You should be like them. We love those kind of people. We march off to them and give our lives to them. It does not take a majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority, keen on setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men, said Samuel Adams. They were fighters. The American Revolution, when it began, less than 5% of its people supported it. At the height of it, less than 50%. All right? The followers don't count. Only the fighters count. And as we say in the Bronx, when you call these guys out in a fight, they don't know whether to shit or piss. They fold like that. They fold like that. You go to them man to man. I had enough of your crap, man. Why don't you know what? Screw you. Don't you give me your shit. Don't talk to me like that. You see what he said to me? That's who they are. They're ballless little boys and gutless little girls. If the people don't stand up and fight, we are going to live hell on earth. It's right in front of us. I got some shithead telling me I got to take a vaccination. How about me getting in good health? How about building my immune system? Oh, the first book I worked on, 1986, a Warner book, Natural Healing. I have an honorary doctorate from the National University of Health Sciences for the work I've done in complementary and integrative medicine. And I got some shithead telling me what to do. Some person that, bought off by the drug dealers. Who's dying from this thing? Oh, people with 2.6 pre-existing comorbidities. Oh, what are they? Oh, in the United States, only 70% of the people are overweight and 40% obese. And what's the average age of the people dying? Oh, worldwide, about 75 years old. Over 70.
Yeah, I hear you.
Look, you go to Australia. You don't have a person under. You don't have a person. I think in Australia, they have 918 people dead in a year and a half, year and 7 months, and I think about 20 are under the age of 60. Out of 25 million people. 25 million people. Young people aren't dying of this thing, and now they're forcing young people to get vaccinated. The drug dealers are in charge. Morons and imbeciles call them Big Pharma. They're drug lords.
You spoke of one president, so I just want to touch on another president. It's getting close to the date where President Nixon did close the gold window temporarily, and where dollars were not redeemable for gold anymore. Gerald, if you could say anything to Nixon, looking back at all this time, what is the one thing you would tell Nixon?
Let me tell you how stupid I was as a young guy. I voted for Nixon in 1968. That's how dumb I was. He could care less. They're politicians. They saw inflation coming. They were trying to do everything they could to change it. That's all it was about. And again, they're sellouts. And by the way, the guy who was the Treasury Secretary at the time, his name was John Connally. John Connally was the governor of Texas that sat in front of Kennedy and took the bullet in the back. And I have a photograph over there of me, him and his wife, me, Connally and his wife, in front of the book depository. Their first time back since the assassination, 1992. And that's when I met him. He wanted to meet me. And he told the story of what happened that day, the assassination. Now remember, he goes from the Democratic governor to the Treasury Secretary under Nixon, a Republican. George Carlin, the great comedian, used to say, it's one big club and you ain't in it. What would I say to Nixon? The gold standard, how about the Vietnam War? How about that one? You like Nixon for that one? He gets elected on the line that he's going to end it, and he keeps it going. He gets elected in 1968. Didn't end until Jerry Ford came in. And I'm prime draft age at that age, so I know that every day I wake up, are they going to get me? They're going to get me. So when you look at the gold standard, it's a criminal operation in charge. Going back to Eisenhower, Google it up. His quote: any man seeking the office of president is either an egomaniac or crazy.
Yeah, Eisenhower did his farewell address. He did warn us about that.
If we don't unite, again, united we stand, divided we fall. And this is the divided states of America. And if the people around the world don't unite under one umbrella for freedom, peace, and justice, we're finished. We're finished. We're done. We're done. That we have these little boys and girls telling us what to do and how to do it, when to do it, where to do it. What are you kidding me? I'm an American. I was born to be free.
Amen.
No, and A, women. You got to be both now.
All right. Gerald Celente, before we wrap up, can you let our viewers know where they can find your tweets and your Trends Journal?
Gerald Celente for the tweets and YouTube, and the Trends Journal, trendsjournal.com. You see the magazine. There's no magazine in the world comes close to it. Nothing. And I'm not saying it because it's my magazine. Show me one that comes close to it, that has that kind of information in there. And you read what you want. You don't have to read the whole thing. It's a magazine. You don't read the whole magazine. You read, but there's something there for everybody. And it's the only magazine that tells you what's going on, what it means, what's next, and how to prepare for the future. And the motto is, think for yourself. Again, we write the stories with all the facts, then we give our analysis. We don't say, you have to do this, you can't believe that. Nope, this is the way we see it. This is the way we see it going. And then you decide what you want to do.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's one of the things I look forward to during the week is the new Trends Journal coming out. Gerald Celente, I appreciate the time that you and your team put in it, and I hope we can do this again soon.
I do too, and thank you for what you're doing. And everybody listening, please do what you all can do to stand up for freedom, peace, and justice. You know, I have a definition of hell. Hell is taking that last breath and knowing you weren't the person you said you were or could have been.
Strong words, Gerald. I can't close any better than that, so we'll let those be the last words.
Thank you.
That was Gerald Celente sharing his views on the economy and the trends to look for. For more info on his Trends Journal, please visit www.trendsresearch.com. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Audio versions of this interview can be found on iTunes and Spotify.